Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com. This is a video about the winter solstice, or bringing in the light. And it's the time of the year when the sun reaches its southernmost point for the year. And for a few days, it's as if it's standing still before changing direction. Of course, the sun does not stand still, but as seen from Earth. And this year, 2016, the solstice happens at 10:44 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time on December 21st. And this is Stonehenge, a place with great sacred energy. The sun is in Capricorn, that's the turning point. So this is the chart set for London at 10:44 a.m. It will vary according to your location. The sun, however, all the aspects, all the connections to the planets remain. The sun is sextiling to Mars. Mars has just moved into Pisces. Now Mars is the warrior, the spiritual warrior, and in Pisces that is now being emphasized for the next 6 weeks. The sun, leadership, is in a very good relationship to this Mars. However, Mars isn't strong in Pisces. So this is a courage that is needed at this time to connect with spiritual values rather than materialistic values. The moon, most important after the sun, is in Libra, to do with justice, the balance, harmony, diplomacy. It's a last quarter moon, so it's making a right angle, a square to the sun. That is tension, and you might be feeling that tension yourself. Mercury has just moved retrograde, happened yesterday on the 20th, and it's in 14 degrees of Capricorn. It will go back all the way to 28 degrees of Sagittarius, that's on the 8th of Jan. And then it will move forward again. So by the end of January, 28th of Jan, it will be back at 15 degrees of Capricorn. Mercury retrograde is closest to the Earth, so it's a time for us to listen and notice how close it is to Pluto, although it's not exactly with Pluto, and it didn't make that exact aspect. But it will come the end of January. Venus in Aquarius. Venus is rising in the UK chart, and it's in Aquarius trining, that lovely trine is to Jupiter in Libra, both air signs, both signs to do with communication. Venus isn't known to be wonderful in Aquarius because it's about friendship and humanitarian energy rather than personal relationships, but it is about friendships. And Jupiter, of course, is in Venus's sign. So forging new positive relationships with groups of people who are like-minded is very much a key, a tone for this solstice chart. Mars in Pisces is also moving to join the South Node. That happens just around Christmas Day, and this is Christmas Day, New Year. We're building this energy up. The South Node is the past, about releasing stuff that needs to be let go of, especially because it's with Neptune. A lot of emotions could be coming up at this time for you. And notice Chiron is close by in Pisces. Chiron at the moment is exactly at a right angle to Saturn, and this is, to me, what's been going on in Syria and throughout the world actually, with people being displaced from their homelands, people feeling that they may be forsaken. That's Pisces, that's Chiron in Pisces. There is another very strong energy building, Jupiter opposite Uranus. Now this is freedom, and I see this very strongly in the UK with the amount of strikes that are occurring. People are rebelling, that's Uranus. and they are taking on establishment. And the law is in question. Jupiter actually governs the law. But notice people wanting space, wanting to be heard. And Mercury retrograde is saying we need to listen. Saturn, very important. Saturn, as I said, is square to Chiron, but it is trining that Uranus. So that is a positive resolution of bringing the old Saturn and the new Uranus. New ways of doing things. That's a brief look at this chart. Now the Sun in Capricorn is to do with old father time. And that's what we're celebrating at the solstice. It's a time of completion. And Capricorn's governed by the planet Saturn. So it's represented by old father time, which is dark, sombre and bleak. But in this picture, of course, there's the old and also the new. And that's symbolic of January the 1st. So we are approaching that. Capricorn, for everyone, is a sign of initiation. It's a turning point because it's known as a cardinal sign, like 3 other signs that signify the seasons, and of course the turning points in the year. So Aries is springtime, Cancer summer, and Libra autumn. So we celebrate these turning points, and they are very important turning points for rituals. Now Saturn is known as Lord of Karma, your guide to spiritual mastery. And one wonderful way of thinking about this is to think of him as the Grim Reaper, but also, as another astrologer has once written, the cosmic chiropractor. Something needs adjusting. And Saturn's principle is Lord of the Rings. He's the boundaries, he's the last visible planet that we can see from our planet Earth. So after Saturn there are planets that we can't see with the naked eye. So he is acting as a gateway into the unknown. And Lord of the Rings happened to be on TV in the UK only the other day. Now in the tarot, I like to use the Hermit to symbolize Saturn. It's not traditional, but I think it works, especially with this particular image from the Osho Zen Tarot called Aloneness. And quoting from the book, the humble figure in this card glows with a light that emanates from within. One of Buddha's most significant contributions to the spiritual life of humankind was to insist to his disciples, be a light unto yourself. Ultimately, each of us must develop within ourselves the capacity to make our way through the darkness without any companions, maps or guides. Aloneness is the presence of oneself. Loneliness is the absence of the other. The traditional card for Saturn is this one, and in the Osho Zen it's called completion. So making peace with the past. Some questions to ask. What's been the story of your year? Now, has that been a spiritual odyssey? Has it been a relationship breakup? Has it been a struggle? What has it been? A success? So it's a time to celebrate successes in work, in friendships, relationships, maybe in your family. Have you had successes in creativity or spirituality? And what would you like to let go of? Are you making wise choices? If not, be kind to yourself. We all make mistakes. It's about correcting the mistake rather than building a monument to it. And a beautiful exercise in times of trouble, in times when you might be waking up in the middle of the night with worries, imagine your older self, that wise man or wise woman, talking to you, comforting you. Or if that's hard to imagine, what would your best friend say to you at this particular time in your life? But all things do pass. So Saturn is in Sagittarius at the moment. So what are your beliefs? That's what Sagittarius is about. Notice in the image, it's the archer looking upwards to the sky. And notice the archer has a tension in order to shoot that arrow. He has to stretch, doesn't he? He has to aim, he has to have focus to hit the mark. So Saturn is demanding simplicity, realism, and truth wherever it touches our charts. It's in Jupiter's sign, so there's a contradiction in this, because Saturn contracts, but Jupiter, Sagittarius, expands. So finding a balance between being maybe too slapdash, that can be Sagittarian fault, or too controlled, that's the problem with Capricorn's energy in Saturn. So that can consume a lot of our time and our energy. We're seeking out growth, but Saturn sees to it that we do so in a disciplined manner. We have a plan for our future. So Saturn in Sagittarius is asking us to take on the responsibility of living according to our personal truths and principles and be loyal to these. It's a time for turning a critical eye to those beliefs and principles that no longer accurately reflect our authentic selves. And Archangel Michael is very connected to this time of year. Asking the right question. He's a protector of the north, which is the house of winter. His realm is the spirit and dreaming. He brings peace, harmony, and global cooperation. And his name means, who is like God? So it's a question. And he's teaching us to learn to ask the right question. And one question that I often ask myself, would you rather be right or be happy? The Archangel Michael, in this wonderful deck of cards by Doreen Virtue, says you can do it. Now usually he's painted with his sword poised above a pinned down demon, and that's to signify Michael's primary purpose of slaying the ego and fear. He's holding a sword, and that sword can be used to cut away fearful attachments that bind us in apathy or procrastination, of course. Call on him for protection, strength, motivation, clarity, and courage. And he's very connected to Sunday, the day of the sun. Now, the sun in Capricorn, that chart I showed you, fire is the natural element of the sun. So a ritual is what I'm going to describe in a moment. So lighting candles symbolizes the arrival of the light and the rebirth of the sun as the days increase in length in the northern hemisphere. So in that chart of the solstice, all four elements are represented, but there is an emphasis on the water signs, the emotional signs, because there's a group of planets, it's called a stellium, and they're in the sign of Pisces. And in this ritual I give the planets in order that they rise at 10:44 a.m. on December the 21st, and you can think of that as being Stonehenge. So this chart is governed by Aquarius in the UK, so you can use it symbolically. And the spiritual warrior is called the Paladin, and you can see in this beautiful illustration from Chuck Spezzano's Archetypes and Shadows deck, he is dedicated. He is dedicated to God. So to prepare for a ritual, you might like to burn some incense or aromatherapy oil. I like to use frankincense because it's of course very Christmassy, but it's also grounding. but it's up to you to choose what you like. I'd suggest not a floral because this is a time of darkness and depth. You want something earthy. So the idea is to arrange 13 tea lights, or candles of course, either in a line or a circle. I happen to have a circular table which I use for ritual. But you can also, place them along a corridor, for instance, which could be quite good to walk along, and arrange them spaced out more than you see in this image. You could place a keyword or choose a small object by each light to sum up that planet's energy for you. You might like to play some music that has meaning for you. I do like the track from the movie The Gladiator, Now We Are Free, because it's very uplifting, and it also has the word shalom in it, which is peace. So you can either do this ritual at 10:44 a.m. GMT or your time zone, which might be in the middle of the night, or you can do it after sunset on December 21st. But the idea with all ritual is to have an intention. So to slowly walk the path. There are 13 steps. So as you meet each candle or tea light, reflect on the quality of the planet, integrate its message and move on. And the idea for this process is it's helpful, is it's healing, but it's also a letting go of the past, of the year, and it can be powerful. So take your time, but don't get caught in taking too long. You might be an Aries person, which you move fast, but it's your intention. So not to take more than maybe a couple of minutes each planet. So here they are. Now I'm offering a PDF of this for anybody who'd like to subscribe to my newsletter today, and I will make sure that I send it to you in time. Venus, love and relationships. So Venus in Aquarius, I desire equality in my relationships. With my whole heart, I'm willing to be the friend to all who call on me for help. Mars, energy, sexuality. It's in Pisces. I call on Source to the divine and connect with my spiritual warrior with all my power. South Node in Pisces, past lives. I will learn the lessons of the past and receive their messages through my dreams. This is a powerful time for dreams. Transcendence, because Neptune's in Pisces. I believe in a higher power in the universe. Healing, that's Chiron in Pisces. I will build a rainbow bridge to heal all wounds that have disconnected me from the source. Liberation, Uranus is in Aries. I initiate innovation and welcome changes in my life. It's also highly creative, Uranus. Your destiny, North Node is in Virgo. I seek my destiny. I focus on priorities. Then the Moon, feelings, it's in Libra. I value peace and harmony and promise to value my body and the goddess within. Libra is very beautiful as a sign, and it's the higher realm of Venus. So think of Venus in a very artistic, very social aspect of the goddess. Faith, Jupiter's in Libra. I find joy as I expand my knowledge of wholehearted relationships and truth. Structure, Saturn in Sag. I seek truth and understanding. I let go of self-defeating beliefs that have been holding me back, so I may nurture faith, hope and vision. Leadership, Sun's in Capricorn. I commit to stepping into leadership, to persevere, to achieve success, one step at a time. Communication, Mercury in Capricorn. Remember, Capricorn is that mountain goat that is very nimble and does get to the top of the mountain where the juicy roots are. So Mercury, I commit to listening to the wise elder within to achieve my goals. You have life experience to forward. That is your authenticity. And that's what Mercury wants to tell you at this time. And finally, transformation from Pluto. Pluto in Capricorn. It stays in Capricorn for a long time. So I commit to facing my shadow and embracing my authentic power to transform my life. It leaves Capricorn in 2024, just so you know. So the true tarot card for Saturn is the world. This is the traditional image. The world as a dance. So the 4 fixed signs there, the corners. A maiden dances wrapped in violet silk and carrying a wand in each hand. She's the Scarlet Woman, dancing the dance of time and eternity, spiraling and twirling through life as a blithe spirit. The affirmation, this is from Tadman, world famous astrologer and author, from his book The Elements of Tarot. And he says, I am a co-creator of the world, and know I will be nurtured and supported by it as I acknowledge my identity with all its actions. And the last word is from Yoda, a wise being. Size matters not. Look at me. Judge me by my size, do you? And well you should not, for my ally is the force, and a powerful ally it is. Life creates it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. You must feel the force around you, here, between you, me, the tree, the rock, everywhere else. Yes. Yoda. So thank you for watching. I'm Pam Carruthers of healingstars.com. If you subscribe ASAP, I can send you the PDF of this Winter Solstice ritual. And if you don't have time to do the Winter Solstice ritual, you can still celebrate the arrival of the sun, turning point of the year, and we are embracing and moving and bringing back the light. Thank you for watching. Pam Carruthers, healingstars.com.